Hello everyone and welcome to CC Book Club. So today we are doing the third eye. We've been doing this for past 2 weeks, I think. So I'll run over. So let's not start from the beginning. There's this astrology that happened, and he's gonna be a certain monk, Rampa. So he goes to the Lama city and he finally gets admitted after 3 days of endurance test. Uh, Lord Appa told him he's gonna have a hard life, but if he does the right thing, his next life will also be super good. So after that, he opened his third eye, which is very exciting. But the bad thing now is that they're not using the third eye, even though they've opened it. So let's see today if we can, like, if there will be third eye opening experiences and stuff like that. So 1 minute masters. Okay, so let me share my screen, masters. Okay, so masters, if you can see my screen, please put a thumbs up, or you can say if it's
Yes.
Yes.
thanks, Ryan, thanks, Joshan, thanks, Reddy. Okay. So where were we? Were we around here, masters? Where he uses like the telescope?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. These powers are in no way magical, they're merely the outcome of using natural laws. In Tibet, there are some who can develop in company and others who have to retire to solitude. These latter men go out to lying lamaseries and enter a hermit cell. It is small room, usually lying lamaseries, and enter a hermit cell. It is a small room, usually built on the side of a mountain. The stone walls are thick, perhaps 6 feet thick, that no sound can penetrate. The hermit enters at his own desire, and the entrance is walled up. There's no light whatsoever, no furnishings, nothing but an empty stone box. Food is passed in once a day through light-trapped, soundproof hatch. Here the hermit stays first for 3 years, 3 months, and 3 days. He meditates on natural life and on the nature of man. For no reason whatever can he leave the cell in a physical body. During the last month of his stay in a very small hole is made in the room for a faint ray of light to enter. It is enlarged day by day, so the hermit's eyes can get used to the light once again. Otherwise, he would go blind as soon as he emerged. Very often, these men return to their cells after only a few weeks and stay there for their life. It is not such sterile, worthless existence in one might suppose. So now they're talking about a hermit who lives in his small room built on the side of a mountain. Man is a spirit, a creature from another world. So once he can be free of bonds of the flesh, can roam the world as a spirit and can help by thought. Thoughts, as we in Tibet will know, are waves of energy. Matter is energy condensed. Is thought carefully directed, partly condensed, which can cause an object to move by thought. So Mars is like they're talking something like very cool. Like in Star Wars, like Luke can move the stones up, and that's how they're saying. 1 minute, Masters. Like Masters, thought controlled in another way can result in telepathy and can cause a person at a distance to do a certain action. This is very difficult to believe in a world that regards a commonplace. The act of a man speaking into a microphone, guiding a plane into land in dense fog when a pilot can see no ground at all. With little training and no skepticism, man can do this by telepathy instead of making use of a fallible plane machine. My own historic development did not entail this prolonged seclusion in total darkness. It took another form which is not available to larger numbers of men who want to become hermits. My training was directed towards a specific purpose and by direct order from the Dalai Lama. Taught such things by another method also well as by hypnosis, which cannot be discussed in a book of this nature. To suffice, it will suffice to state that I was given more enlightenment than an average hermit can attain in a very long lifetime. My visit to the Potala was in connection with the first stages of my training, but more of that later. So now explaining the powers of a hermit and how to achieve. Now Rampa's trying to be humble because even if he can have telepathy and hypnosis, he's like trying to be like, okay, I'm gonna be humble now. So that's what he's saying right now. I was fascinated by the telescope and I used it quite a lot to examine the places I knew so well. The Lama Mingya Dondap explained the principles in minute detail so I could understand there's no magic involved, just ordinary laws of nature. So Masters, he's saying he's happy that he has telescope. And once again, please on your videos, Masters, for the whole session if possible. Everything was explained, not merely about a telescope, but lessons were given as to why a certain thing happened. I could never say, oh, it's magic, without having an explanation of the laws involved. Once during this visit, I was taken to a perfectly dark room. Lama Mingya Dondap said, now you stand here, Lobsang, and watch that white wall. He blew out the flame of the butter lamp and did something to shutter the window. Instantly, then there appeared on the wall before a picture of Vasa, but upside down. I shouted with amazement at the sight of men, women, and yaks walking upside down. So, Ramba Minja Dandup is doing some tricky stuff, like he's doing like stuff that uh, Rampa is getting very surprised. The explanation about bending light rays really puzzled me more than anything. How could one bend light? I was demonstrated to me the method of breaking jars and pitchers with a soundless whistle. So that was quite simple and not what I thought, but bending light. Not until special piece of apparatus consisting of a light which was lamp that light of the hidden by various slats which brought from another room could I understand the matter. Then I could see Ray's pen and nothing surprised me after. So now Lama Minjalana is keep showing him and getting more respect from Lobsang Rampa. For centuries, gifts have been arrived. Oh, the storerooms of the Patala were crammed full of wonderful statues, ancient books, and most beautiful wall paintings of religious subjects. The very few Western people had seen any of them considered it to be indecent. The portrait of a male and female spirit is close embrace, but the intention of these pictures is very far from obscene. No Tibetan could ever regard them as such. These two nude figures in embrace are meant to convey the ecstasy which follows the union of knowledge and right living. So Masters, he's now saying, he's also in the Potala where the Dalai Lama is. He's Dalai Lama. Is there are a lot of rare paintings and rare books, and also what else? There were also a lot of other stuff. So also there are a lot of other stuff, and then Rampa is saying, look, in our country there's so many stuff, and then and he's saying, westerns. They also say that this is very rare. I think this is funny. I admit that the horrified beyond measure when I saw that the Christian symbol worshipped a tortured man nailed to a cross and as their symbol. So 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 uh so it is such a pity that we all tend to judge people of their countries by other countries by our own standard. So he saw Jesus' photo, like he's like that, and he was nailed up by a bad country. That's very rude. And yeah, so he saw that and he's like, how does this happen? Like, they surprised a little, but yeah, next. For centuries, gifts had been arriving at the Potala from the various countries, gifts for the Dalai Lama of the time. Nearly all those presents have been stored in rooms, and I had a wonderful time turning out and obtaining psychometric impressions as why the things were sent in the first place. I was indeed an education in motives. Then, after I stated my impression as obtained from the object, my guide would read from a book and tell me the exact history and what happened after. I was pleased at his more and frequent. You are right, Lobsang. You are doing very well indeed. masters. Let's jump into questions.
Mukund, I think it's a very early for questions. It's only 8:31.
Okay, do you want to do it for like 10 more minutes?
Yeah, I think 15 more minutes would be better.
Okay. Before leaving the Potala, he made a visit to one of the underground tunnels, and I was told I could visit just one, as I would see the others at a later date. We took flaring torches and cautiously climbed down what seemed to be endless steps, slitted along a smooth rocky passages. These tunnels, I was told, had been made out of volcanic action countless centuries before. On the walls were strange diagrams and drawings of quite unfamiliar scenes. I was strange on the walls were strange. I was more interested in seeing the lake that I told stretched for miles and miles at the end of one passage. Last we entered the tunnel which grew wider and wider until suddenly the roof disappeared to where our light of our torches would not reach. 100 yards more, we stood at the edge of the water, such as I never seen before. It was black and still, with a blackness that made it appear almost invisible, like a bottomless pit within a lake. So he's very surprised how it looks like, because there's no light. It looks like a pit, but he luckily knows. Not a ripple disturbed the surface, not a sound broke the silence. The rock upon we stood was also black. It glistened in the light of the torches. But a little to one side was a glitter on the wall. I walked towards it and saw that the rock was a broad band of gold, perhaps 15 to 20 feet long, and reached my neck to my knees. So he found gold masters. Like, look how many different stuff there are in Third Eye Masters. Now I imagine him going for mining right around 20 feet long masters. It's like 4 people. I don't think we find these big rocks anymore. Great heat had once started to melt it from the rocks, and it had cooled in lumps like the golden candle grease. Lama Minye dawned up, broke the silence. This lake goes to River Sang Po 40 miles away. Years and years ago, when an adventurous party of monks left a raft of wood and made paddles of which to propel it. They stopped with raft with torches and pushed off from the shore. For miles they paddled, exploring. When they came to an even larger space, where they could not see walls or roof. They drifted along on as they paddled gently, not sure which way to go. I listened, picturing it vividly. The llama continued. They were lost, not knowing which was forward and which was backwards. Suddenly, the draft lowered. There was a blast of wind, extinguishing their torches, leaving them in complete darkness. And they felt the fragile craft was in the grip of the water demons. Around they span, leaving them giddy and sick. They clung to the ropes that held the wood together. With a violent motion, little waves washed over the top and made them wet through. Their speed increased and felt that they were in the grip of ruthless giant pulling them to their doom. How long they traveled, they had no means of telling. There was no light. The darkness was solid black, such as never was upon the surface of the earth. There was a scraping, grating noise and the stunning blows of the crushing pressures. So masters are they're telling the story of four people who like, I think we should go adventuring. We'll be in the world record. So I don't think there's a world record back then, but world record and they went. But they never came back. So what's the use of world record when they didn't reach the end? They they were flung off the raft and forced under the water. Some of them had just the time to gulp it. Others were not so fortunate. Light appeared greenish and uncertain. It became brighter. They twisted and turned. Then they shot up into brilliant sunshine. Two of them managed to reach a shore more than half drowned, battered, and bleeding. The other three there were no trees. For hours they lay between for hours they lay half between death and life. Eventually one rose sufficiently to look about him. He was nearly collapsed again from the shock. In the distance was the Potala. Around them was the green meadows with grazing yaks. First, they thought they had died, and this was a Tibetan heaven. Then they heard footsteps behind them, and a herdman was looking down at them. He had seen a floating wreckage of the raft and come to collect it for his own use. Eventually, the two monks managed to convince the man they were of monks for their robes and completely turn off, and he had agreed to go to the Potala letters. Since that day, very little had been done to explore the lake, but it was known that many islands a little way beyond the range for our torches. 1 minute, masters. Uh, Hi, masters. Sorry if I'm pausing my video too often, but I have a trouble in my throat, so sometimes some pain comes. So I have to off my video because it's bad. One of them has been explored, and what was found you will see you later when you are initiated. I thought of it all and wished that I could have a raft explore the lake. So Rampa, even if it's very dangerous, Rampa thought it's very exciting, and he wanted to swim in the lake and like go on a raft and also get like that hurt. I thought of it all and wished I could have a raft and explore the lake. My guide had been watching my expression, suddenly laughed and said, "Yes, it will be fun to explore, but why waste our bodies when you could search in the astral? You can, Lobsang. Within a few years, you will be competent to explore this place with me and add to total knowledge we have of it. But for now, study, boys, study, for both of us. Our torch were flickered low, and it seemed to me that we should soon be groping blindly in the darkness of the tunnels. As we turned away from the lake, I thought how foolish of us not to bring spare light. At that moment, the Lama Minya Donna turned to the far wall and felt about. From his hidden niche, he produced more torches, lit them from these all now almost smothering out. So now he's going back, masters, a long way. Joshua, should we going to jump into questions and answers because we talk a lot? Joshua, okay. Okay. Let's when until Joshua comes back, let's talk about how the question and session is. Masters, are you there? Because you can on the video. Okay, let's start with Rudy because she's the only one there.
I like this session a lot, and you told the story very well. And yeah, I have no questions. It was an amazing session, and I really liked it. I enjoyed it a lot.
Okay, thank you. What was your favorite part, at least this time? But still, he didn't use the third eye.
Yeah, I really wish to use the third eye again. It would be more interesting. Yeah, I don't really have a favorite part, but I really wish they used the third eye.
Yeah, that too.
Sorry, Mukund, I was actually absent at my screen. Did you call my name?
Yeah.
Should I say it now?
Is that it, Rudy?
Yep, that's it.
Thank you. Joshua's next.
Today, I think the best part in the story would have been, well, I'm not so sure this time because there wasn't that many funny parts either, and well, there weren't that. And I think the story was a little bit creepy but nice. But it was a little bit interesting story, like how did they stay in that much that much darkness? I would have been really scared if that happened.
If that happened, I'd have not gone with Lava yet on that.
And well, you did the session really good today, Mukund. And sorry for any inconvenience because a lot of today and yesterday My dad really needed the computer, so sorry that I couldn't share the spotlight today.
It's okay, Joshua. Yeah, okay. I can understand. Is that it?
Yes.
Okay. Ryan?
Hello?
Yeah. Hi, Ryan.
Hello. So today, Mukund, I think you did really well, like the others had mentioned before. Um, like always, you kept it humorous, even though some parts were blunt and boring. Um, my favorite part, in particular, I didn't really have one. Today's session, pretty much liked all of it.
Thanks. Anything else?
One second.
Anything else?
Nothing else. But Mukund, would you like to share what your favorite part was?
My favorite part. I really didn't have a favorite part too. Yeah.
Okay.
But if I had to choose a favorite part, I'd choose the story. It's just really interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't have any other questions.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Joshua, do you want to stop recording because we'll talk about hobbies?
Okay.